Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far, and we are into the final couple of days of what has been a crazy Stage 3 major so far. There was a phenomenal matchup to finish off the day last night that we're going to dive into here, but also other teams not looking so good right now in the CDL. Do they have to make changes with the clock ticking down to World Championship qualification? And do we take your thoughts in the comment section below? Like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you are new as always, I'd greatly appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that. First of all, we've got to talk about this Subliners versus Mutineers series. Started off pretty nicely. There was a tweet that came out from Subliners here, and Mutineers, of course, kind of gassing up their matchup. Good, well, certainly the social media of these two teams has been pretty solid. But this game one, early on, it was kind of close. Then, I mean, this is just what New York do lately in hardpoint. The first rotation is pretty close. The second rotation, they've done this on Garrison so many times now, is just dominant. They just completely dominate the second half of Garrison. And one of the reasons why this is so impressive to me is because this is exactly how the OpTic Dynasty used to win their hardpoints back in the day. They'd have, the first rotation would be pretty close. They'd win a fantastic rotation over towards P1 of the second rotation, and then for the rest of the game they were just dominated. That's what New York seemed to do every single map at this point. The slaying it from the side of one. I mean, Hydra didn't even have to do that much this map one, but Clayster absolutely went off. The rest of the team was firing on all cylinders, and given the Mutineers looked pretty damn good yesterday up against Los Angeles Thieves, this may have been the most dominant series we've seen of the year so far. This game one, I mean, it was a 150 in the end that Mutineers just about managed to get, but Clayster at the end, here on a 6 streak, 29 in 17 or something, he finishes off this game. He was on an absolute another level right here. And then we go into the game 2 as well. I mean, Arcitys says, look, Clay still fighting. Oh man, is straight up gross right now. And this game 2 was just, I mean, they just caught fire here on Express. This was outrageous. Clayster goes 9 in 1. Hydra goes 10 in 1. Mac is chilling here at 1 in 2, just winning the map, no problem at all. The rest of his teammates just carried him through it. I mean, Clay and Hydra combining for 19 in 2. How often do you see that, right? So, yeah, wasn't the prettiest out of the Mutineers right here. But New York looking very good. And we discussed yesterday the fact that, okay, FaZe versus Ultra was arguably the greatest series of the year so far. Two teams showing an incredibly high level, and that was the discussion really coming into this, coming into this stage. Alright, who can take down Ultra? Is it going to be FaZe? Do New York have a chance? Right now, they certainly do have a chance, and they'll be playing FaZe in that winner's bracket as well later on today. So, honestly, New York looked incredible yesterday, and this control as well, they dominated in pretty impressive fashion as well. This, I thought, was a pretty remarkable clip that, Joe points out right here during I guess this is a hardpoint, or I think this is a control actually towards the end. You can see Hydra just calling in a streak, doing 360s with it. I mean, this guy's just absolutely cracked out of his mind. Honestly, like, Hydra looked so good this series. I mean, the statistics from the series were absolutely ridiculous, especially from Clayster as well. He drops a 1.8 over the series, 1.45 in control, casual 9 KD in the Search and Destroy, and a 1.56 and up, and it doesn't get too much better than that if you are a New York Subliners fan. So they are looking very good right now, and we thought about this Subliners team that, okay, a few months into the season, if they do get the opportunity to bring Hydra in, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with come the World Championship. I did not think they'd be looking as good as they do already, and that is a scary sign for the opposition, given the fact that, this team, in theory, should only keep on improving over time as they continue to get their chemistry there with Hydra, and that guy's out of control as well, but it was really Clayster this series, age 29, gameplay 18, putting up absolute numbers. I think the stats from Breaking Point, actually, that Decemate comes out with to talk about the fact that the top 4 KDs of the major so far are all the New York guys. I think it was Clay at a 1.77, Hydra had like a 1.58, Mac had a 1.3, Asim had like a 1.4. They just completely dominated Florida off the map in this series. Not something you see every day. And as Clay says right here, love when my teammates are feeling the vibe. As he's saying in the group chat right here, we're going to absolutely destroy them, straight murder them. They are going to be shook. Vibes immaculate on this squad. So I thought it was pretty funny. But Tribal Methods here saying, okay, the name of the chat right here indicating that they have their own separate chat on the separate side of things, and maybe that's helping them build up the vibes before these series. And as Crone says, Clayster certainly does get better with age. And this right here, this is me imitating a semi-drunk, running them over. Nothing but entertainment when Clayster's on the stream. You never know what this guy's going to do next, whether he's going to, drop a face like this on the stream, or whether he's going to drop a 1.8 KD in a series up against a Mutineers team that's been looking pretty damn good as of late. So this was incredible scenes. I'm really excited to see that FaZe versus, New York series coming up later today, but also many other interesting series to dive into in a couple of minutes' time. What I wanted to focus on then is the Minnesota Rokkr team, because at the start of the season they looked pretty suspect. They make this change and they bring out MajorManiak, of course, they bring in Standy. They look fantastic for a few weeks, and then these last couple of weeks it's definitely fallen off for the Minnesota Rokkr, and they find themselves in somewhat of a precarious position, especially this 3-0 to defeat the Royal Ravens. Not ideal for them at all, especially when we look at the standings right now. So I'm pretty sure none of these points have been updated for what some of the teams have got as a result of this major. So Rokkr may have 10 more points than this now, but look how precarious they look, to be honest. All these top 6 teams, I don't think they're going to have any issues maintaining their standings at the present time. However, if you look down here towards the bottom side of things, you've got some, teams certainly looking to catch up. Mutineers now at 90 points. I mean, we kind of talked about, okay, maybe Mutineers could run away with this 8th seed. Only the top 8 get to the World Championships, of course. But yesterday, of course, they looked pretty suspect up against the Mutineers, and maybe that won't exactly be the case. And then you've got Rokkr. I mean, honestly, like, there's only a few points in this. Only one of these teams, it only takes a decent run from a team like London to really start mixing it up, and there could be even 2 spots up for grabs here if Rokkr continue to look very shaky as they do at the present time. And there was some discussion on the flank last night I found real quick just before we, recorded the video, saying, okay, the Zuma was kind of talking about it, Ben was saying as well, and Methods came on the stream to say a similar thing. Effectively, look, it looks like Minnesota Rokkr need a change. Is it going to be accuracy that's going out, especially given the slaying standings at the present time?
And I know how people in the scene work. A little bit of shaky shots right there. But I just don't see them changing for some reason. I feel like that team likes the team. I feel like they like each other. I feel like they think that they're good. They're just not executing in these tournaments. Now, do I agree with not changing? I think they should change. I kind of agree with you, Ben. I feel like it's just same consistent problems. I mean, I see the frustrations in their faces when they're losing. They just all look like they're pissed off. It just looks like they're miserable. Now, listen, when you're not winning, things suck. Life is good when you're winning. And it really sucks when you're losing. So I know these guys are frustrated. I know they are. And it seems like they're losing. They're starting to lose their confidence a little bit. It's just not looking good. It's not. So they might need to experiment a little bit. And again, I think it's a lot easier to say exactly what to do with the team if you're sitting in practice every day and hearing the way they come and the way they play. But I agree with you, Ben. I think something should happen. And you do have MajorManiak on the sideline waiting to go. And he is a great player. So we'll see how it goes. But I also do think Zinni is another great player.
Now, whether they will make a change, of course, is another factor entirely. But this is their performance so far here in Stage 3. Accuracy has a 0.4, not quite that bad. 0.84 in hardpoint. Attaches a 1.02. Priestahh with a 0.99. Standy with a 1.07. And you can see his search and destroy as well. It's not really particularly pretty all across the board. And, you know, kills per 10 minutes as well. Of course, the engagements for accuracy you'd expect to be somewhat low. And that was really the discussion, right, when they made this initial change, when MajorManiak came out and it was Standy that came in. There was a lot of talk, okay, do you actually, should you have accuracy still on your team as the main AR? Should it have been MajorManiak that was staying on that team as the main assault rifle? Would that have been good for their communication and stuff? Because, of course, accuracy does bring a lot to the team in terms of leadership. But, if your main assault rifle's dropping a 0.84 in hardpoints, that's really the game mode they've been struggling in. That is, there's certainly significant questions to be asked them. And you can see this stage, they're 3 and 8 in their hardpoint records. I mean, 2 and 5 in search and destroy, also pretty woeful as well. So, seems to me that Minnesota Rokkr aren't getting better anytime soon with this team. It seems like the time that this team was good has now gone past, and a lot of discussion about we were witnessing a breakdown after that tweet that happened when Rokkr beat OpTic in that crazy 1 versus 3 that accuracy got. Seems like that moment kind of spelled the downhill run of both of the teams that were involved in that crazy moment. So there has been some discussion, okay, welcome back MajorManiak, maybe from Grizz right here saying, okay, maybe this is something that they have to do if they want to improve going forward as well, and it's a possible change that could make this team better. But at the end of the day, I'm not sure how much it improves this team. They brought out MajorManiak for a reason and kept accuracy into the team. I don't know if they'll make this change, but it seems to me right now that the team is in a pretty precarious spot. They may have to do something if they want to improve significantly, because surely the goal is at the end of the day to win the World Championship. Can that roster do it? I'm not really sure they can right now. There's also been some talk about some other players as well, because as Method says, I can only pray I'll get to play again this year. One of, if not my best game. I just hope I will have something to show for it. Apparently Method has been killing it in challenges of late. What I've seen from him has been very impressive indeed. Now, whether they'll decide to get Method in instead of a guy like Maniak, given Maniak is sitting on their bench, there's not too long left realistically in the season, and of course there's whole buyout stuff that you'd have to deal with from Toronto, so I don't imagine it'll happen, but it could be an interesting thing to keep your eyes on some of these other assault rifles in the league right now, because I think a lot of the ARs in the league, if you're eyeing up a spot on a team, it's probably going to be accuracy spot on Minnesota Rokkr that a lot of these ARs will be eyeing up. And Slasher says a similar thing right here. The feeling after a good workout hits different, all that good stuff. Shouldn't you be practicing your slide cancels for LAN? Believe it or not, I played some hardpoint pubs lately. Need to get back in the scrim cycle, and some of these teams certainly do need me, says Slasher a couple of days ago now. So yeah, maybe he can get back on one of these teams if Los Angeles Thieves will let him go. I don't imagine they'll be needing his services any longer, but who really knows what Los Angeles Thieves look like later today when they do play the Royal Ravens. Other teams, of course, struggling as well. Los Angeles Grillers go out yesterday in a top 10 format, as aBeZy says, I'm down immensely. So many what ifs this stage. It could have been the complete opposite if we clutch up. At the end of the day, that's on us. Just feels like I'm cursed right now. Need to keep moving forward, and Assault also in a pretty tough spot. Now, whether LAG will make another change, I'm not really sure. It's pretty much an expected result for them at this point. But yeah, getting rid of Vivid and bringing in Chino, obviously, like in theory, it's kind of worked out. Like Chino's actually been looking pretty good for this squad, but clearly the results still aren't there for this team right now. And I thought this is crazy as well, just before we go into the matches for today that Hitch came out with. This is during the Scump versus aBeZy 1 versus 1. I think they were up 5-3 in this round, and it was when Formal got one kill, he got traded out, and then it was Accuracy versus Scump. And you can see right here, I mean, Scump's on the back alley, kind of checking between back alley and looking towards the bomb. And look at all the three guys here that like flinch simultaneously as aBeZy comes out the corner. I thought that was pretty cool to see. So yeah, the team won't maybe back for OpTic, but they're going to need to show it in spades if they want to beat a pretty solid Dallas Empire tonight. I mean, it's not going to be easy to beat Dallas Empire, even though they've been looking pretty suspect as of late. And this is the bracket as it stands right now. So FaZe versus New York. The winner of that match, of course, will move right on through to the grand finals. Still, I don't believe the winner of this match will get any advantage in the grand finals, which is always very interesting to me. I thought that a 1-0 advantage that they had last year certainly made a lot of sense. The fact that there was zero advantage at all is pretty questionable, to be honest. And FaZe might once again be in a situation where they end up in the grand finals from the winner's side, and that then they play Toronto Ultra or something that have come through them losers on a lot of momentum, which is exactly what happened last stage. But that is certainly still very much up in the air, because New York looked incredible yesterday. Maybe they can put up a similar fight to what Toronto Ultra did yesterday up against FaZe, but both of those teams looking incredibly good right now. Certainly a deserving winners final at the present time. Then in the losers bracket, though, we've got these two matches. I mean, all these 4 games will play today in addition to the winners final. So this is how it stands right now. Thieves versus Ravens. This is, first of all, a very interesting series, because London have been looking really good as of late. Thieves looking a little bit questionable. So I think this series is very much up in the air. I'm not sure who's going to take it. I'd love to see London continue to make a run, and more questions would certainly be raised about Los Angeles Thieves if that was the case, especially given they lost to Mutineers, and the Mutineers just got destroyed by the Subliners yesterday. Then the second series of the day. Not a series I was expecting to see for a top 8 placing. I mean, the winner of this gets top 6 at the very least, but Dallas versus OpTic, I think the winner of this series might catch a lot of momentum and fire in this tournament, to be honest, because it's just it's one of those series that there's always a grudge match on the line between Scump and Crimsix. I mean, there's always that storyline at least in the back of minds, and well, the team that loses this, probably their confidence might well be shot going into the start of stage 4. Then the winner of London versus Thieves, they'll play up against Toronto Ultra. That is not going to be easy, and the winner of Empire versus OpTic plays Mutineers, so probably a more winnable side on the lower half here. But yeah, Ultra not going to be easy to face by any means. And then, of course, we'll have the losers finals and all that good stuff on the Sunday. But intrigued to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm to know you enjoyed this content. Other people like you may enjoy this content as well, and I'll grow the competitive Call of Duty community. Thanks for watching as always. Take care, and I will see you next time.